the intensity of an image to 0, the horizontal screen position of an image off the screen in both directions, and the vertical position of an image off the screen in both directions. And one other parameter, which we call horizontal centering. As I put an effect into the image, you can see that horizontal centering allows us to move the image through the effect. When we use these controls in combination, we are able to animate the image as we did in the polyfusion show.
Things had progressed a long way. And after the Redetra, I helped Bill Hearn build the Electronic Associates of Berkeley Video Lab. These were all limited machines. The only reason anyone knows about the Redetra is we pretty much gave it to artists for the cost of building it. The reason our names are on it is because when we finished the first one for WNET's television laboratory, we were about $10,000 in debt. The first contract for Redetra actually says to build a Namjoon-Paik synthesizer that zooms. Well, we built a lot more than that, but there is no question Namjoon precedes us in the idea of getting abstract manipulation and real-time manipulation of images. And leading up to that, John Whitney, who used the Norton bomb sight to do film, Ben Leposki, who of Cherokee, Iowa, who, if you look up, you'll find he did some wonderful still photos and movies off oscilloscopes as early as 1945, and everybody's forgotten about poor Ben. The reason nobody's forgotten about me yet is we built 21 synthesizers, but about half of them fell into use by artists, because I was an artist in residence at NET. Woody Visolka and Stana built their own Redetra. Tom DeWitt built parts of it. And other artists got to use it. It was at the television laboratory and at the television center in upstate New York run by Ralph and Sherry Hocking. So it was, the Redetra was finished, and then I wanted a colorizer, so I traveled back and forth to California. Air travel was easier in the day, and got Bill Hearn to build the colorizer. I thought when we finished the Redetra, I was about 2 years away from creating something that would allow me to start performing to music in real time with something brand new. I was off by at least 50 years, because we don't quite have it yet. But all the stuff I'm going to show tonight is coming, why don't you get a shot of it, is coming off of $110 Android tablet, and it was simply the cheapest one on eBay. No, on Amazon actually, that had HDMI out, so I could hook it into the so I could turn it into video and then digitize it again and get it onto the computer screen. And this software I'm using is called Project M, and all the presets have been done by other artists. I recommend Project M. I recommend you put it on your cell phone and begin to play with it. In fact, if I could afford a smartphone, this would be happening from a smartphone. All I was going to do today is, at the urging of Benton Bainbridge, and I should mention that as far as I'm concerned, Benton and Dan Summers are people that are going to carry on the tradition. There is a new art form out there. It deals with live manipulation of shapes and images in real time with sound. What it'll be like, I don't know. I thought we'd be way ahead of things by now, but believe me, it is much easier to do these things today than it was in the day. In 1970, people thought you were crazy to bother to put images on the computer. The first still image I made really on a computer was with Ken Knowlton's program, because Max Matthews let me go into the electronic music lab, and I hitched a ride with Laurie Spiegel, the composer, and I did an image on Ken Knowlton's Explore program, and just 3 days later, I had a color print of it. I could only see it in black and white while we were doing it, and I think it took a whole pack, and I don't remember the exact number, of IBM cards to get it done. So for some reason, I thought video was going to happen on the computer, and I was probably just crazy. Today, people would talk to you and say, of course it would. Anyway, at Benton's behest, I'm about to do a performance with James Herring, who is delayed in the usual thing by New York City traffic. He'll do the music at Share. I'll start manipulating these videos to his music. That's great. My computer has crashed. I have no idea what that's about.
Do we have any questions from the audience?
Oh, that was power. Did I?
Bill, do you want to continue?
I'll answer questions now for sure and certain.
Why don't you put your earphones on, Bill?
Oh,
These right here.
My earphones. Oh, these earphones?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to move to a Q&A now? You want to answer some questions? No?
That's great. I like to be hemming and hawing on a worldwide cast. We'll go here. Does anyone have any questions? Is the question. Minu? How's the South American contingent?
Okay, I think we can just conclude. I don't think anybody has any questions yet.
All right, no one has any questions yet. If you go again to Feasel Weasel on Facebook, FeaselWeasel. If you go to Feasel Weasel on Facebook, you see I put up some still images, which I call Faces in the Mist. For the last 40 years, one of the I think I caught Menno's cold. Can you do that on the internet? Coming up for a computer. This is okay. When I played with Max Matthews' electronics music lab at Bell Labs, the mean time to failure was somewhere around 20 minutes. And when that did a disk crash, some comedian had programmed in, it sounded like a bunch of plates had fallen in a restaurant. Somebody, I can't walk and chew gum at the same time, so you'll have to forgive me. Okay, I agree to rejoin this thing. Here I am. Anyway, for 40 years, I've been doing what I call video rush-offs. And what I mean by that is I use mirroring effects and randomly and feedback to randomize amounts of data, and that gives me apparent what I call faces in the mist, and that's what's going on here. And if it crashes the computer again, somebody better have some questions, because I won't know what to do. Damn, we lost. Hold on. We have lost. There. No. Oh boy.
I have a question.
Yeah?
You say that we're still not at the point of synthesizing live video with music. There are a lot of people who are doing things similar to that. What distinguishes the current state of the art from your particular goal or definition?
Exactly that. The whole thing, hopefully with some way of writing it down, basically with some form of notation. But then written music wouldn't have been so easy if they'd had live tape recorders at the time and would have had to include every sound in the world. And the visual spectrum is from infrared to ultraviolet, and music for us humans is 20 to 20,000 cycles.
Generating
Hello, Tom.
Similar to that.
Hi, Bill. How are
What
you?
distinguishes the current state of the art from your particular goal or definition?
When you can sit down and get plasticity, what is it? We're getting I'm getting garbled. Basically, with some form of Tom, hold on for a second.
The mic from the laptop.
Oh, okay. Look, wouldn't have been so easy.
The question you were in the
The
middle of?
question was, what is the difference between what I want and all the different things being done? Probably nothing if you took everything everybody's doing, put it into one probably software package that ran on a moderately expensive or inexpensive machine, I should say. And if you could use live images, collected images, and I don't even know if video is the word because 3D input images are a grand idea. I have patents in 3D television. I love it. I don't think it's practical until the screen fills the whole wall, but I love it. But until we have a way of my telling you how I did it, so you can study that and decide where you want to go from what I've done, it's not quite there yet. It's not something that will grow like music has grown. And until that, it's still an art form that's about to be born or has just been born. It'll get there, but I've been doing this since 1968. I have images. You can go to Blip TV if you want to see the early video wallpaper. I've been working on the same thing for almost 50 years now. And believe me, it's not there until someone can look at my work, look at some notation of my work, and decide they want to do it differently. And the next thing grows out of what I do. Or it grows out of not being what I do if they hate what I did. That's why it's not there yet. Because there's no way of my telling you everything I did in a form that would allow you to take it and either discard it or use it in the next generation. And that's my frustration. The reason I'm doing something on a cheap Android tablet tonight is when I first started, before I built the Redetra or anything, this, if I could have played with the Project M software or programs like VMX or Videator, which is very nice on the Mac, or any of that, if I had all of that, I probably would have sat and played with it. I started out as a documentary filmmaker, a student of George Stoney's, and then one night I made the fatal error. I pointed the camera at the monitor and put on my Beatles album and started playing with feedback. The way I first met Woody the Sulka, who has certainly done more work to codify what goes on than any 100 other people, was George Stoney knew Woody, and when he saw what I was doing with the feedback, which George didn't care about at all, really, but he thought there might be something in it. He sent me to Woody because Woody had a device that put color into the black and white imagery. Woody took a look at what I did. He said, oh, you could just waste all your time playing with this. I think he said shit, but I won't swear to it. And part of the reason the Red Extra got built was I wanted to show Woody that I was a serious player in this thing, and I was young and testosterone crazed, and so I talked NET into paying me $2,400, and I talked my good friend Steve Rudd into spending a whole year of his life and about $5,000 or $6,000 he didn't really have into building something that we should show off. And when we finished it and we realized we weren't going to make money too quickly, if at all, and we never really did on the Red Extras, we decided to put our name on it because maybe we could get some work out of it. In that, the Red Extra has been very successful. It's gotten some work. And it's gotten fame that keeps growing because people are doing Red Extra sizers, programs that are software that mimic it, not the least of which is Anton Marini, who is doing a great job and ensures that that particular art form based on the raster effects won't die out, even though the raster itself doesn't exist on TVs unless you're, I don't think it will exist on TVs at all in 10 years. Somebody has two TVs. But the only ones I've seen recently were several years ago at Christmas in the garbage. There was a point at which there was a plethora of huge, expensive TV monitors in every garbage dump in New York. Anyway, back to the question, what do I think? Why do I think it's not quite there yet? I think everyone who's doing something like this, every DJ, which I claim to be one of the oldest, certainly one of the oldest still practicing, any DJ, any DJ who's doing it to live music, if he's playing old science fiction films he's got on tape, or live camera, or both, or a synthesizer, or putting bars on the screen, which you can do with any keyboard or MIDI instrument, is working towards something. But are we there yet? Not really, because we can't pass it down how it was done. So this is all folk legend. The only way you know anything I did is if I tell you on this thing, and actually I prefer to sit home and play with my ferrets. At any rate, did that answer your question? Or did I just run off at the mouth too long?
It was both. It answered my question.
But you see, you're what passes for an expert, and you are an expert, and you learn the expertise the right way. You learned it by doing it. And until there are people who can go someplace and have somebody who's done it for longer teach them how to do this. Or you can pick up a book, even if it's a Kindle Fire. Pick up something and get instructions on how to do it. Until that, it's still an art form being born. that's how I feel about it at any rate. Now, I've got a problem here that's technical that I think I ought to fix.
Bill, we're queuing up one of your videos on YouTube, so do you want to just take a few minutes to work on that?
Yes, I want to take a few minutes to work on that. You do the YouTube stuff.
Great.
Hey, Bill, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, I mean, what I have here is I've got a touch tablet over here, and it is actually through its mic. It doesn't have even an external audio input. Through its microphone, it's picking up whatever happens in that earphone there. So it's listening to what's going on at share and manipulating the image like that. And then I'm playing the touchpad, very much like you would play a keyboard, or in a lot of cases, a Western guitar, a lap guitar, and I'm playing that, and it's reacting to the audio it's hearing from the earphone, or from me, and that's what is going on. Roz, can you kill the incense? Where's Roz?
She stepped out, but I can do that.
Yes, somebody killed the incense.
I'll take care of it.
And then go in the hallway and soothe whatever feathers are ruffled. She can't.
Bill, can you talk a little bit more about
The setup here. Pan over this way. Cheap touch tablet. And from the cheap touch tablet, we go into an HDMI converter. And since the best monitors we have are computer monitors, we then take that and go into another converter, which converts it to VGA, which puts it on that computer monitor after the HDMI goes to video, then to VGA, then back to that monitor. Now, could I plug the VGA directly into the monitor? The HDMI directly from this into the monitor? I would hope I could, but it happens to be I wanted to put it into my screen share program, but it crashed the Mac. So we're just looking at it with a camera at the moment.
So, Bill, I believe James is ready.
Is he?
Yes.
Thank God.
Your earphones are next to you on the right.
Go for it, James. Went off, but otherwise, as we Hi James, I think we can wind this down. We're going to need a lot more practice to get it synchronized because of the timing delays on the internet. But I think we should wrap it. Whoops. Wrap it up. Okay, James? Let's do a wrap.
All right.
Okay, James, how was that? All right, we're gonna have to practice this a lot more, but it doesn't, the Google part's the easy part. And except for the Mac rejecting all three digitizers slowly, I'm sure that can be worked out. Thank you, James. James Herring of Yogi Fish. And I will post stills from this on the Feasel Weasel Facebook page in about 2 days, because I'm not physically well, and this is going to knock me out of the running for a couple of days. And you will see that there are pictures hidden in the imagery, which I never thought to really show to anybody. But if you're interested, I'll put stills up, and the only thing I'm going to do for them is some line processing to make the outline sharper. Okay, I think that has to be an evening. I'm sorry, I'm only good usually for about 2 hours between pain shots. I'm afraid you see, while all the activities, the macho stuff I did, judo and riding around in motorcycles and torture rallies in cars, didn't hurt then, it all hurts now. So good night, everybody. Minu and Tom and everybody else around the world, good night. How's that?
Oh, good night, Bill.
Good night.